Prologue, In the Time Before Time, B. Chapter 1, The Birth of the Chosen. In the heart, the following dawn. As the first light of Ra crept over the horizon, Set gave birth to a son. His cry was not of mere human sorrow or joy, but a sound that resonated with the harmonies of creation itself, a celestial note that promised hope and renewal. Naming him Neteru, which in the ancient tongue meant divine spark, Set knew in her heart that her child was no ordinary mortal. Even as the village celebrated the arrival of new life with joyful hymns and the gentle clinking of alabaster vessels filled with sweet honeyed water, whispers began to circulate. Elders recalled the ancient prophecies carved on, growing up amid the dusty paths and sacred rituals of his village. Young Neteru displayed an uncanny affinity for the mysteries of the gods. He would often be found near the banks of the Nile, his wide, curious eyes following the patterns of drifting papyrus boats and the slow, rhythmic flow of the sacred river. Sometimes, in the quiet moments before dawn, when the world lay hushed beneath the shimmering glow of stars, as T. Chapter 2, The Divine Omen. On T. The falcon spoke with a voice that was both thunderous and soft. Neteru, son of the sacred Nile, the time has come for you to journey beyond the familiar lands of your home. Within the desert of shadows and the labyrinth of the underworld, you will find the relic of eternal balance, a treasure of unspeakable power. Guard it well, for it is the key to preserving Maat, the order bestowed by the gods. Beware the forces of chaos, for they shall rise when the light falters, seeking to shroud the world. When Nen, realizing that his life was about to change irrevocably, Neteru sought the counsel of the village elders and the wise priesthood. Under the flickering light of oil lamps in the sanctum of a modest temple dedicated to Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, he recounted his dream and the signs that had followed. The high priest, an aged man whose eyes still twinkled with the spark of divine insight, listened intently before nodding slowly. Child of destiny, he said in a voice warm yet resolute, the path you must tread is one that few mortals dare to follow. The relic you seek, the Eye of Horus, is an ancient symbol of protection and restoration. Its power. Thus, Chapter 3, The Journey Through the Desert of Shadows. The desert stretched before Neteru like a boundless ocean of gold and amber, each dune a silent sentinel guarding the mysteries of the ages. The scorching sun blazed overhead, yet Neteru pressed on, driven by a resolve that seemed to emanate from deep within his very being. Days melted into nights as he traversed this harsh, unforgiving land, a place where the heat of the day gave way to nights so cold and vast that the stars appeared to whisper ancient incantations. It was on the third night of his journey that Neteru encountered his first trial. As he rested beside a small oasis, lulled by the gentle murmur of water and the rustle of palm fronds, he was startled by a sudden, eerie silence. The usual chorus of nocturnal creatures had fallen mute, and an unsettling chill crept over the land. From the depths of the darkness emerged a colossal figure, a sphinx of living stone, its eyes aglow with an inner fire that rivaled the very sun. The creature spoke in a language of riddles and echoes. O seeker of the divine relic, what is it that binds the heavens to the earth? Speak truth, or be lost in the sands of oblivion. Neteru's heart thundered in his chest, but he recalled the teachings of his mother and the wisdom of the elders. With a steady voice, he answered, it is Maat, the harmony of justice, truth, and balance, that binds the realms of gods and mortals. Just as the Nile gives life to the barren lands, so too does Maat sustain the order of the cosmos. The Sphinx's gaze softened as if in quiet approval, and with a slow, graceful nod, it receded into the desert's embrace. You have spoken with the wisdom of Thoth and the purity of Isis, it intoned before vanishing as mysteriously as it had appeared. The night resumed its gentle symphony, and Neteru felt the first seeds of confidence take root in his soul. For many days thereafter, the desert revealed both its beauty and its perils. Neteru encountered mirages, fleeting visions of lush gardens and sparkling rivers that evaporated like dreams upon closer inspection. Yet he also met companions along the way, a wandering dervish clad in faded robes, whose eyes held the secrets of countless journeys across the shifting sands, and a mysterious nomad whose silent presence spoke of a deep, unspoken understanding of the desert's language. The dervish, known simply as Serket, shared with Neteru tales of ancient battles between the gods and the forces of chaos. In whispered conversations beneath starry skies, she recounted how Set, the unpredictable and turbulent god of storms and disorder, had once conspired to overthrow the cosmic balance, only to be thwarted by the united might of the divine. As the days passed, each step further into the heart of the desert revealed challenges that tested Neteru's resolve. The blistering heat of midday was met with nights so frigid that his breath crystallized in the air, and the shifting dunes seemed at times to conspire to mislead him. But in every trial, he found solace in the memory of Isis's whispered lullabies, in the ancient hymns that spoke of a destiny written in the stars, and in the subtle guidance of the gods whose voices echoed in the rustling wind. At times, when the solitude threatened to overwhelm him, he would pause at ancient, weathered obelisks inscribed with long-forgotten prayers, feeling the divine energy coursing through the granite, a silent reminder that he was never truly alone. In one such moment of quiet reflection, as the crimson hues of sunset bled into the horizon, Neteru discovered a hidden grotto nestled between towering sandstone cliffs. Within the cool, shadowed sanctuary, delicate water lilies drifted upon a small pool fed by an unseen spring. It was here that he encountered an enigmatic figure, an aged man draped in garments of deep indigo, with eyes that sparkled like polished lapis lazuli. The stranger introduced himself as Kem, a servant of Thoth, entrusted with the preservation of ancient wisdom. Child of destiny, Kem intoned softly, your journey is not solely one of physical endurance, but of inner transformation. The relic you seek, the Eye of Horus, is not merely a symbol of divine might, but a mirror of your own soul. In order to claim it, you must confront the shadows that reside within you as well as those that lie without. Kem spent many hours in discourse with Neteru, recounting allegories of mortal frailty and divine resilience, teaching him that the path to enlightenment was fraught with the dual perils of external adversity and inner darkness. With Kem's parting words echoing in his heart, trust in the light that burns within you, and no shadow, however deep, can snuff it out. Neteru resumed his journey, his spirit tempered like gold in the crucible of adversity. Chapter 4, Trials of the Divine and Mortal Worlds. Beyond the realm of the living desert, Neteru's quest led him toward the ancient ruins of a temple lost to time, a sanctuary dedicated to Maut, the goddess of cosmic balance and justice. The temple, once resplendent with vibrant murals and soaring columns adorned with hieroglyphs, now lay in haunting ruin, its stone surfaces etched by the passage of millennia. It was said that within these crumbling walls lay the gateway to Duat, the mysterious realm of the dead, a place where the living seldom trod and where the secrets of creation and dissolution intertwined. Neteru entered the temple with a mixture of reverence and determination. The air was heavy with the scent of incense and the lingering echoes of ancient chants. As he passed beneath an archway guarded by the carved visage of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the afterlife, he felt the presence of those who had once walked these sacred halls. Each step brought him closer to the heart of the temple, where a grand hall awaited, a hall illuminated by shafts of golden sunlight that filtered through cracks in the dome overhead. Here, amid the ruins, the relic he sought was said to lie hidden behind a series of trials devised by the gods themselves. The first trial was that of the elements. Before him appeared a vast chamber filled with 4 distinct altars, each representing one of the elemental forces, earth, water, air, and fire. At the altar of earth, the stones themselves pulsed with the slow, rhythmic heartbeat of the planet. At the altar of water, a small basin shimmered with the gentle ripples of the sacred Nile. At the altar of air, a soft breeze carried the scent of desert blossoms, and at the altar of fire, a single, eternal flame burned with the intensity of Ra's midday blaze. A voice, as soft as a murmur yet resonant as a temple bell, spoke from the darkness, to claim the relic. You must prove your worth by embracing each element and yielding to its truth. Neteru knelt before the altar of earth, placing his hands upon the cool, ancient stone. Feeling the pulse of the world beneath his fingertips, he whispered a prayer of gratitude, acknowledging that his strength, like the sturdy bedrock, was built upon a foundation of unyielding resolve. At the basin of water, he cupped his hands to drink, feeling the life-giving force of the Nile course through him as if it were the very blood of creation. When he approached the altar of air, he spread his arms wide, allowing the gentle breeze to fill his lungs with the pure, untamed breath of the gods. Finally, at the altar of fire, Neteru did not shy away from the scorching heat. Instead, he stepped forward, allowing the flames' glow to caress his face, a symbol of his willingness to endure trials of pain and purification. With each element embraced, the great doors of the inner sanctum creaked open, revealing a narrow passage leading downward into the shadowed bowels of the temple. Here, the air grew cooler and the walls whispered in forgotten tongues, as if recounting the ancient secrets of lost dynasties and celestial alignments. At the end of the passage, Neteru found himself before an ornate door adorned with intricate carvings of gods and beasts. It was the threshold to the realm of Duat, the mysterious underworld where the boundaries between life and death blurred. The door was inscribed with a single, powerful phrase in sacred hieroglyphs: "Only those who confront their inner darkness may illuminate the path of eternal light." Gathering his courage, Neteru pressed his hand against the cool stone. The door shuddered and slowly swung open, revealing a corridor bathed in an ethereal glow, a passage that promised both revelation and peril. With the heartbeat of destiny echoing in his ears, he stepped forward into the unknown. Chapter 5: The Labyrinth of the Underworld. The corridor into Duat was a realm of paradoxes, where darkness and light intermingled in a delicate dance, and the boundaries of mortal perception were stretched to their limits. Neteru walked along a path of shimmering silver sand, the ground beneath his feet reflecting images of a world that seemed both familiar and utterly alien. Here, the air pulsed with the energy of forgotten souls, and every shadow hinted at a secret waiting to be unveiled. As he ventured deeper, the passage opened into a vast subterranean expanse. Gigantic statues of gods long deposed by time loomed overhead, guardians of the threshold between life and death. Osiris, lord of the afterlife and symbol of resurrection, presided over this eerie realm with a solemn, inscrutable gaze. His regal presence reminded all who entered that death was not an end but a transformation, a vital part of the eternal cycle of creation. It was in this otherworldly domain that Neteru encountered his greatest trial yet. From the inky darkness emerged a host of spectral figures, shades of the ancient souls who had lost their way between worlds. Their voices, soft and mournful, swirled around him like tendrils of smoke. "Why do you trespass in the land of the dead?" they asked, their words echoing with the weight of sorrow and longing. "I seek the relic, the Eye of Horus, to restore balance and protect Mat," Neteru declared, his voice unwavering despite the chill of fear that crept along his spine. "I am prepared to face whatever darkness lies within and without." Moved by his sincerity and the light that shone in his eyes, one spectral figure, an ancient soul in the guise of a regal queen, stepped forward. "To proceed, you must confront not the phantoms of others, but the darkness that resides within your own heart," she intoned. "In this labyrinth of souls, your inner truth will be tested against the temptations of despair and the lure of power. Only by embracing your vulnerabilities, forgiving your own mortal frailties, and choosing the path of compassion will you find the light that guides you home." Thus began a series of visions and trials that plunged Neteru into the depths of his own spirit. He relived moments of pain and loss, a childhood scar, a word of regret, a time when doubt had nearly eclipsed his belief in the divine. Each vision was a mirror reflecting the complexities of his soul, and each revelation was a stepping stone toward a deeper understanding of himself. The journey was arduous, for it required him to face not only his fears but also the echo of every misstep and failure. Yet with every tear that fell and every burden he released, A spark of light grew brighter within him as the labyrinth of the underworld gradually receded before him. The spectral queen reappeared. "You have braved the darkness within and emerged tempered by truth," she said, her voice imbued with the wisdom of ages. "Now, the final trial awaits, the confrontation with Set, the harbinger of chaos, whose insatiable hunger for disorder threatens to engulf the order of creation." Chapter 6, The Clash of Cosmic Forces. At the threshold of the final trial, the air turned electric. The very fabric of reality seemed to quiver as Neteru stepped into a vast chamber bathed in a stark, otherworldly light. At its center, a swirling vortex of shadow and flame roiled like a living storm, a manifestation of Set's chaotic might. The god of disorder, with eyes like burning coals and a presence that radiated malevolence, emerged from the tumult. His form was ever shifting, a blend of beast and man, of tempest and void. With a voice that boomed like a collapsing pyramid, Set declared, "Foolish mortal, you dare challenge the order of chaos? The eye of Horus is mine to command. For only in the void can true power be born." But Neteru's heart was steadfast, his resolve as unyielding as the granite monuments of old. "Chaos may claim power, but order is the very foundation of life," he replied, his voice echoing with divine fervor. "Math binds the universe, and through truth and compassion, even the deepest shadows shall yield to the light of creation." The clash that followed was nothing less than a cosmic duel, a battle not of mere physical might but of spiritual fortitude and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. As Set unleashed torrents of destructive energy, hurling bolts of dark lightning that scorched the very air, Neteru raised his staff and invoked the sacred names of the gods. With each resonant syllable, the light within him flared brighter, forming a shield of pure radiance that repelled the dark onslaught. The chamber trembled as the two forces collided, Set's chaotic tempests crashing against Neteru's unwavering light. The spectral energies of the underworld, the ancient souls that had once whispered warnings, gathered around the combatants, their voices joining in a mournful hymn of destiny. In that fierce moment, time itself seemed to slow, and the eternal struggle between the forces of creation and destruction was laid bare before the eyes of the gods. Drawing upon the lessons of his arduous journey, the wisdom of Kem, the guidance of Serket, and the inner strength forged in the crucible of self-revelation, Neteru reached deep within his soul and summoned the divine essence of Ra. In a blinding burst of golden luminescence, he channeled the power of the sun itself, a force that had once birthed the cosmos from the darkness. The light surged forth in a tidal wave of pure energy, encircling the vortex of chaos and gradually subduing its wild, unbridled force. Set, caught in the grip of this overwhelming radiance, howled in defiance and despair. His form flickered and wavered as the light pressed upon him, until finally, with one last resounding cry, he was forced into retreat. The chamber, once filled with the tumult of clashing energies, fell into a serene silence. In the center of that hallowed space, suspended in the aftermath of cosmic conflict, shone the fabled relic, the Eye of Horus, its luminous gaze a testament to the triumph of order over chaos. Chapter 7, The Triumph and the Burden. With trembling hands, Neteru reached out and grasped the Eye of Horus. The relic pulsed with a gentle, unearthly glow as if it contained the heartbeat of the universe itself. In that singular moment, the long-hidden truths of existence unfurled before him. The eye was not merely an emblem of divine power, it was a mirror reflecting the eternal struggle that bound all of creation. It held within it the promise of protection and the burden of responsibility. Its light was a symbol of hope, but also a reminder that the forces of chaos were never truly vanquished. They would always lurk in the peripheries, waiting for an opportunity to disrupt the delicate balance of Maut. As Neteru emerged from the labyrinthine depths of Duat, the relic cradled in his arms, the desert itself seemed to awaken in celebration. The rising sun bathed the land in hues of gold and crimson, and the Nile sparkled with a newfound brilliance. Word of his deeds spread quickly among the people, and soon his journey became the subject of fervent songs and whispered legends. For in his triumph, the eternal light of the gods had been restored, and the fragile equilibrium between order and chaos had been safeguarded, for now. In the days that followed, Neteru returned to his village a changed man, a living embodiment of Mat's eternal promise. The elders welcomed him with reverence, and the people celebrated with feasts and ritual dances that stretched long into the nights. Temples were erected in his honor, and the sacred tale of his trials was inscribed upon papyrus scrolls, ensuring that his legacy would be remembered for generations to come. Yet, even as the land rejoiced, Neteru understood that his journey was only a part of a far greater cosmic tapestry. The gods, in their infinite wisdom, had set the balance of the universe in motion, and the battle between light and darkness was a cycle without end. As he gazed upon the horizon, where the blazing sun dipped beneath the endless dunes, he silently vowed to remain ever vigilant, a guardian of Mat and a beacon of hope in times of turmoil. Epilogue: the eternal legacy of the divine spark. Centuries passed, and the once youthful Neteru grew into a revered sage whose name became synonymous with courage, wisdom, and the unyielding spirit of the divine. His deeds were chronicled in the annals of history, inscribed upon temple walls and whispered on the winds that swept across the vast Egyptian desert. In every humble prayer and every majestic hymn, the legacy of the divine spark lived on, reminding all that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, the light of order and truth could prevail. Pilgrims journeyed from distant lands to the ruins of the ancient temple where Neteru had confronted his destiny. They came to seek not only the blessings of the gods but also the inspiration found in the myth of a mortal who dared to challenge chaos itself. Under starlit skies, amidst the silent testimony of weathered obelisks and crumbling hieroglyphs, the people would recount the tale of the Eye of Horus, a symbol of protection, healing, and the eternal promise of renewal. In quiet moments, as the cool desert night embraced the land, one could almost hear the soft echoes of Neteru's footsteps along the banks of the Nile, mingling with the whispers of the ancient gods. His journey, wrought with trials and illuminated by divine intervention, had not only safeguarded the cosmic balance but had also forged a legacy that transcended mortal lifetimes, a legacy that would be remembered as long as the golden sands of Egypt danced under the eternal sun. Thus, the myth of the divine spark endures, a timeless reminder that in every heart burns the potential for greatness, that every soul carries the capacity to bring forth light from darkness, and that, in the grand tapestry of creation, the battle between order and chaos is eternal. For as long as the Nile flows, as long as the stars trace their ancient courses across the night sky, the spirit of Mat shall prevail, and the enchanted sands of Egypt shall whisper the immortal tale of hope, courage, and the triumph of light over darkness. Appendix: the symbols and their meanings. In the great myth of Egypt, every symbol and every relic bore a meaning deeper than its physical form. The Eye of Horus, which Neteru claimed in the heart of the underworld, was not merely a relic of divine power, it was a reminder of the importance of balance, protection, and the resilience of the human spirit. Just as the falcon soars high above the desert to survey the land, so too must each mortal rise above their doubts and fears to embrace the clarity of truth. The eternal flame at the altar of fire, burning with the fervor of Ra's incandescent light, represented the purity of purpose and the transformative power of sacrifice. The sacred teachings of Mat, embodied in every whispered prayer and every rhythmic chant, guided not only the actions of gods but the lives of men. It was said that when the world was in chaos, the heart of a true believer would beat in perfect harmony with the cosmic order. Neteru's journey, with its myriad trials and transcendent revelations, served as a living testament to this ancient truth, that the forces of creation and destruction were not at war but in a perpetual dance, a dance in which every soul was invited to participate. And so, the myth of the enchanted sands was passed down from generation to generation, a legend woven into the very fabric of the land. In the glow of the rising sun and the quiet murmur of the evening breeze, The spirit of Neteru and the divine promise of Maut continue to inspire those who dare to dream, who dare to seek the eternal light that lies hidden even in the darkest of places. Epilogue of Legends. As the twilight deepened over the ancient pyramids and the eternal Nile continued its meandering journey through the sands, the myth of Neteru remained a beacon of hope in the hearts of the people. His tale was more than just a story, it was a sacred reminder that every challenge faced with courage, every hardship met with resolve, would eventually yield to the luminous power of truth and justice. His legacy became interwoven with the very identity of Egypt, a land of mystery and magic, where the divine and the mortal met in a timeless embrace. In the corridors of time, as new heroes rose and fell and the dynasties of old crumbled into dust, the story of the divine spark endured. Temple priests would recite it during the long, quiet nights, and poets would weave it into verses that echoed across the desert. Travelers, guided by the gentle hand of fate, would pause to admire the ruins and listen for the soft murmur of legends carried on the wind. And always, in the quiet moments between dusk and dawn, the world seemed to hold its breath, listening for the faint, eternal sound of a child's cry, the cry that once heralded the birth of a hero, and with it, the promise of a brighter, balanced tomorrow. For as long as the stars continue to trace their silent paths above the ever-changing sands, and as long as the Nile sings its ancient song, the myth of Neteru will remain, a testament to the indomitable power of hope, the eternal struggle between chaos and order, and the divine spark that resides within us all. Word of the ages. In recounting this myth, a saga of divine visions, perilous journeys, and cosmic battles, remember that every line, every symbol, is imbued with a truth that transcends time. The enchanted sands are not just a relic of Egypt's storied past but a living narrative that continues to evolve with every heartbeat and every whispered prayer. In the rise and fall of empires, in the eternal cycles of the sun and the moon, the delicate balance of Maut endures, woven into the tapestry of the cosmos. May this myth, now passed into your keeping, serve as a reminder that the light of truth can banish even the deepest shadows, and that every soul, no matter how humble, has the power to shape destiny. As you carry forth the legacy of this ancient tale, remember, the journey of 1,000 steps begins with a single stride, and the divine spark within each of us is the flame that lights the way through even the darkest night. Final reflections. And so, as you lay this tale to rest within your heart, let its echoes guide your steps. May the wisdom of the gods and the courage of a single mortal inspire you to confront the challenges that lie ahead. For in every trial, in every moment of despair, there exists the promise of renewal, a promise that, much like the eternal flow of the Nile, life itself is an unending cycle of rebirth and hope. The myth of the enchanted sands is not merely a story confined to the annals of ancient history, it is a living, breathing narrative that resonates through the ages. In the quiet solitude of the desert night, listen for the sound of ancient footsteps upon the sands, and in that sound, find the reminder that light always follows darkness, and that every ending is but the beginning of a new and glorious dawn. Eternity inscribed in stone. Long after the mortal coils of time have worn away the monuments of empires, the legend of Neteru, the child of destiny who challenged chaos and embraced the light, will remain etched in the eternal sands of Egypt. His journey, as inscribed in the sacred walls of forgotten temples and whispered in the winds that roam the desert, serves as a timeless beacon, a call to every soul who dares to dream of a world where order and harmony prevail. For in every heart lies the potential for greatness, and in every soul burns the eternal light of Maut. As the stars continue their silent vigil over the enchanted lands of ancient Egypt, so too will the legacy of that divine spark endure, a legacy that reminds us all that in the grand tapestry of creation, every ending is but a new beginning, and every soul is a bearer of the eternal light. The journey lives on. Thus, the myth of the enchanted sands remains, a myth of gods and mortals intertwined, of celestial battles fought in the hidden realms, and of a hero whose journey was not defined solely by the relic he sought, but by the transformative power of the light that dwelled within him. It is a story that beckons each new generation to look within, to confront their own shadows, and to trust that even in the darkest of times, the promise of a new dawn is ever within reach. May this tale inspire you to seek out your own path, to honor the balance of life, and to forever cherish the eternal interplay of light and darkness. For in the heart of every myth lies the truth that we are all part of something far greater than ourselves, a timeless, cosmic dance that continues to shape the destiny of all who dare to believe. In the name of the eternal Nile. So ends this recounting of a myth as ancient as the shifting sands, as enduring as the mighty Nile, and as infinite as the heavens above. Let it serve as both a farewell and a promise, that no matter how far the winds of chaos may blow, the light of Mat will forever illuminate the path of the faithful, and the divine spark within every mortal will continue to burn bright against the backdrop of eternity.